Welcome to the Dare to Make the Art of Machine Design. My name is Volker Eduardo Rojas. Today we're actually going to cover in this little 5-minute clip or so how I go about going from an idea of a product to try to convert it into a product. And this entire lesson, to be honest, came about because on the onset of COVID, I was helping to teach a precision machine design course. And I was struggling with the fact that when I was in the classroom, I'm happy and I'm engaging with the students and I go over all the material. Yet via Zoom, I wasn't able to actually give the same flavor, which I can imagine a lot of instructors are having via the new way of communicating. And in the process of doing that, I started to look at ways of actually helping the students. I started creating what are called teardowns, taking apart components and making sure that people understand the physics and the beauty that goes into actually making a part. What actually came about into the fall term is that there's one thing to say how things are done and there's another way to show it. So I started talking with Professor Alex Slocum, and I asked him, is there a project that you would like to turn an idea that you already have into a product? And he said, yes, we have a wrist distraction project. And we're going to cover this a lot in more videos. As I took on the project and I started literally breaking down in my own head and trying to understand what is it that I do as part of the machine design process, I started integrating everything that I've learned. So 10 years at university, several years of a startup, and then machine design consulting for the last couple of years. And then what actually came about was something really unexpected. I have been creating almost this image in my head, the way that I approach things, that for me, it's been unique. Maybe others have been using it already. This is my way, and it doesn't mean that it's the right way, it just means that it is the way that I do things. The way that I usually start, it's going to be almost and visualize this as a pyramid. And each phase of the pyramid we're going to go over in a later video in more details. So if you have a pyramid, almost like the one that's in the back of the dollar bill, you have the 4 faces and then you have the little top of the pyramid on top. Each of the 4 faces in the pyramid are something really important in the machine design process. So one side is the functional requirements. This is what it must do. The other side is the fundamentals. The third side is anticipation, and the last side is the realization. Now, on the center of that pyramid, what you're going to see is that there's that creativity box, and that's disconnected from the rest of the pyramid. The way that I envision and I try to imagine what my process is for machine design is I literally start walking up the functional requirements, or this is what I need to do in order to make the product succeed. This is what the doctor needs, or this is what the client needs. And as I go on top, there's different fields of those functional requirements. From the top, I look down from the creativity standpoint, and now I have to do almost like a mapping of a complex structure, because I have to have a balance between the functional requirements that I have to satisfy, the fundamentals, which start at a glimpse, the engineering equations, structural loops, and very just hardcore engineering that goes into it. The anticipation, which is looking at what does the customer actually need. Only because a customer asks you for something, it doesn't mean that that thought is complete. So as an engineer in product development, you have to put yourself into the shoes of the customer to make sure that you can actually address all of their needs. This is also an anticipation when you start looking at risks and countermeasures. As a licensed professional engineer, this is your reputation, this is your liability, so you have to be really, really careful with this. Now, the last phase is that realization phase, which is what is it going to cost in order to create a product that's going to enter the market? what is the market demand, and this is the financials. So when you're on top of that creativity phase, designing all of this, you have to like balance all of these parameters simultaneously. How do we start? We usually start with an understanding that there are 4 phases that your product development is going to go to. The first phase is going to be bench level prototype. The second phase is going to be a size prototype. And the third phase is going to be a functional prototype. And the last one, from functional to production, happens almost very smoothly if we keep a balance of the pyramid design structure. All of those phases we're going to touch up in details later on. So now you're understanding that for each of these phases that we're going to go into, of product development or bench level prototype, size, functional, and production, we are actually going to be using the machine design product pyramid structure. And that's the best way that I could come up with an image, all right? So we're gonna, just in summary, we're gonna look at the functional requirements, go up and run towards the creativity peak, and from that creativity peak, we're gonna evaluate all of the 4 elements: functional requirements, the fundamentals, the anticipation, and the realization phase. Now for each one of those, there's more videos to come. If you like this video, please hit the like button. I'm going to be trying to make more videos like this, snippets on the art of machine design, and eventually we're going to get to the analysis of each of the components in the engineering equations. Thank you for watching and have a great day.